people are discussing and talking about availability of data, we tend to say there aren't enough data. I don't have data on this. And especially my friends, the gender people, will say there's no data on gender. But there's a lot of data. I think what we have failed to do, really, is to make the data available and accessible. In some cases, it's not even that people don't look for the data. They search for it, they try to access it, and generally they come up with complaints that we are not responsive or it takes too long. And truly, in some cases, students, that's Ghanaian students abroad, have complained that they requested for data and never got it. So they had to change their dissertation subjects to other countries. So thankfully, this is changing. And it's changing because data production is now centered on getting the users to access the data and use the data. Indeed, data is too costly to have us limited to the first level production. Statistics Office produces data and then disseminates in reports, and in some cases, microdata sitting somewhere. But now, with the initiatives that GSS is coming up with, data will not, availability will not be a problem. The problem will really be the will and the capacity to use the data and to make the data available in a user-friendly manner so that policymakers can really engage with the data that we produce and the research that we put out. Today we're going to talk about or launch the StatsBank in a few minutes. And the StatsBank is one of the main products, one of the 4 that I'm going to talk about today. The StatsBank is a database of millions of indicators. I don't want to be wrong, that's why I haven't put a number to it, but about over 30, tens of millions of indicators from the census alone. And now the plan is to integrate other sources of data from GSS. You know, we did a Greek census before, 2017, 2018. That will be integrated into the database. We also have other surveys. We have Demographic and Health Survey, Ghana Living Standards Survey, MIX, which is the Multiple Indicator Cluster Surveys, countless surveys. All these will be integrated into this StatsBank and packaged in a way that is easily accessible, not only to the most technical user, but also to those of us who just engage in indicators. They will be there. The second product that we have available is the digital Census Atlas. Before I go on, did we all receive this? Okay. So if I'm not detailed enough, you will pick some details from this flyer and also have links to the data sources. So the Digital Census Atlas allows you to present indicators at the district level in maps, and by so doing, you are able to compare and contrast levels and differentials among districts, regions, on every level of the indicator. So it's another important source that easily analyzed, and I'm sure the students who have done the hackathon will be able to attest to some of the things I'm saying. Then there is the rasterized data. This is data made available in charts and maps, you can process them through maps, charts, but it allows you to go even lower than the district level. So it's by 1,000 by 1,000 meter area, or 100 by 100. So there's small area information. The only limitation, and it's a major one, is that if the area does not contain enough people to really make the information anonymous, then you will not be able to go to that low level in some particular areas. So the idea is to protect the information of individuals and confidentiality of information. So if cross-tabs, if you cross several variables, and it will lead to you identifying me, like a position like government statistician in Akemoda, there will be only one person. So if that will come out, you won't get that data. But beyond that, you will get a lot of information. The other one, the last one I'll mention, is the microdata. We have had microdata in the past, and it's been available, mostly international level. The microdata access that we strive to give or make available, it's really one that you can access easily from the website. So again, you would have the information on that, the flyer that I mentioned. Now, there is an initiative to try and get not only the microdata of GSS, because that one has been available for some time, but for GSS to also exercise its role as the coordinator of statistics, and also the institution that validates of information, statistical data. Then we're trying to get universities like yourself. You collect a lot of data, individual level data. We have MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies that collect data, especially Ministry of Health. They also have micro-level data. A Ministry of Education has micro-level data. We're trying to assemble all these, governed by some microdata dissemination policy, as well as MOU between GSS and these institutions like yourself, so that we can collectively make these data available. So money that we've already invested can be well utilized. But I think fundamentally, we want to have a data literate country and data-driven policy environment. So governments can actually enact policies based on sound information, analyze data, so that citizens can also engage in an intelligent way with various policymakers, and we can interrogate the data. So these are the 4 products that we are working actively on, and it's already, most of what I'm talking about is already available, but it's also going to be augmented. The other dimension of the microdata access is we've enhanced it with metadata. So it's more transparent, and you'll be able to understand what you are using and the limitations, and to what extent you can draw certain conclusions. So on behalf of the government statistician and the board of Ghana Statistical Service, we express sincere appreciation for UHAS accepting to partner with us in this exercise. I know you are thankful that we came to you, but if you had said no, we wouldn't have managed to come to Ho, your beautiful campus. So thank you, and we wish you well in the finals. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Grace Bediako. Okay, so we also have in our midst, I'm sure we have several of them here, but coming to the podium now will be 3 data scientists from the Statistical Service in the persons of Mr. Salasi Akaho, Ms. Adam Titriku, and Mr. Peter Mwilaru. Please welcome them to the podium. They will give us a demonstration of this StatsBank that we're hearing so much about.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam, and good afternoon. Madam Chair, Board Chair of GSS, lecturers present, students. As said, we are here to present 3 products of Ghana Statistical Service. In fact, the StatsBank, as you have been hearing, yes, you present that. The other 2 products are all built on the StatsBank. And each of these 3 products are targeting different users. We know that GSS, we are, as Madam said, the main thing is to produce data for users. So we are user-centered. So we produce the data and we are putting it in platforms such that all the various diversity of the users within Ghana, everybody can benefit from. So the StatsBank, as we know, is to target mainly people who mostly use data, like numbers, like academics and all that. And the data put there, as Madam said, we have been having microdata, but this one are statistics. So we generated the statistics and put there for you to make the work a bit easier. So that one is targeting researchers. The others, if my colleagues come, they also mention the targets of these groups. So this is the interface of the StatsBank. To get here, all that you need is you go to the Ghana Statistical Service website. So if you go to our website, you can go to Ghana Statistical Service here. That is one of the ways of getting it. If you come here, there are 2 places you can find the StatsBank. Up here, we have StatsBank. Then down here, under the data bank too, you have StatsBank. If you click on it, it takes you to the StatsBank platform. And in this StatsBank platform, as Madam said, for now, we have the PHC data in there, which is housing over 300 million statistics points. Then we also have some macroeconomic indicator data in there. The plan is that all the other surveys we've done in the past, we also get them, generate the statistics and upload them. But for now, we have only these 2. So to demonstrate, I'm going to use the PHC one. If you click on it, this is the interface you see. Then you see these points. These are more of highlights giving you the aggregated data. These are based on the census data. So the things you see here are the models that were in the census questionnaire. The advice is that in using the StatsBank, you should also have the census questionnaire by you to help you know what the questions are about. So for example, if my aim is to look at something like education literacy, so if you click on any of these, it opens a tab for you like this. So let's say my interest is looking at Ghana here. We are looking at the distribution of persons by school attendance. So I look through this and the education and literacy. I see population 3 years and older by school attendance status. We have it by district, region, and all that. Then I click on that. If I click, it opens this interface. You are going to select fields within this interface. Some of them are mandatory fields you must select, some are not. Those that are mandatory are the ones you see the star by them, like this. Those without star are not mandatory. But the number of mandatory fields or not depends on the particular link you open or statistics you want. So let's say here I want the school attendance. If I want to select all these categories, I click select all. If I don't want to select them again, I can do deselect to undo what I've done. If I want to select only one of them, I click. If I want to select two, I click, then hold the control button and click the second one. So you can select all, select some of them, or decide. So that's how you go about it. Let's get to the geographical area. Here too, I can decide to select all, or I select some. We are also having this thing here, this symbol. If you see it by any of these things, it means that this data here is hierarchical. Hierarchical here means, so let me show you what I mean here. So we see that in Ghana, we have regions. Then in each region, we have districts. So this is hierarchical. The districts are built under the regions. If you click on each of these, so let me clear. If you click on just one region, that means you want data for that region. If you want the data for the district within the region, you click the plus sign. The districts for that region will open up. Then you select the districts. So let's say here I want data for Western, Central, and Greater Accra only. So I select these three. Then I continue. And if I continue, I go down locality. Say I want rural and urban. I want all. So I select all. Then here I want all of them, male, female. I want all age categories. Then I click on show table. So this is going to show me the table containing the statistics based on the categories I've selected. This here. If I don't want it in this format, I can go to pivot manual as one of the ways. In fact, before pivot manual, let me even show this. So I can click on pivot clockwise. Clockwise is going to flip the whole thing clockwise for me. If you click pivot anti-clockwise, it's going to flip it the other way for you. But if you want to manually arrange the other categories here. So this is how you can do that. And as Madam mentioned, we have some metadata here, at least something small, describing what this table is about. So it's telling you that here, the values we are seeing here are school attendance status, and it's not defined for ages less than 3. So you are knowing that these people are 3 years and above. And this is because in the census education model focus on persons 3 years and above. After doing this, then if you click here, you can get some description about the table. They tell you that this data is about human beings, persons. It can give you the date it was created and all that. Some information is here. Here you can show the table in different formats. This you are seeing a table. I can click on bar chart and it will convert the whole thing as a bar chart for me to show. I think because it's a long table, it's taking time to do that. But so that's too many. But if it is some small categories, it will show that there's an API here. Those who know what API is. This is when you want to link whatever you want to do separately, which is not on the StatsBank, to the StatsBank directly, such that anytime there's an update in this kind of table, assuming there is, it will also affect your thing directly. So you copy this and you use. You can also edit this table in different forms. Either you want it in percentages or whatever. Then the most important thing, after every data, you want to save your results. So to save the results, there are different platforms you can save the result to, either in Excel format, you can save it as a JSON file, you can save it as a relational file, any kind of format you want. Assuming I want an Excel, I click on Excel, then I click save. Then it will download my data for me to use. So now this is the data downloaded, and it is opening for me to be able to use. So this is how the StatsBank itself works. As I said, my colleagues will present on the other products, which are also built on the StatsBank to target different users. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for the opportunity to demonstrate to you another remarkable product by GSS, the Digital Census Atlas. So the Digital Census Atlas is like a layer on top of the GSS StatsBank, as already mentioned. It's directly linked to the GSS StatsBank. But while the GSS StatsBank caters for, let's say, data experts and researchers, the Digital Census Atlas has been designed to actually cater for people, stakeholders, policymakers who do not have extensive knowledge in working with data. So with the Digital Census Atlas, we get the visualization of all indicators on the Ghana map. It is a platform that is very interactive and more user-friendly. So with the Digital Census Atlas, we expect our users to easily navigate and access statistics to inform policy. So when you log on to the platform, this is how it looks. You'll find a wide range of key topic areas, including population, difficulty status, economic activity, literacy and education, ICT, and so on. So we also have the Home tab, which gives the general overview of the platform. So assuming I am a policymaker and I am particularly interested in looking at children between the ages of 3 to 14 years who have never been to school, all I would have to do is to navigate to the literacy and education tab. Then the indicator I'm interested in is school attendance status of children 3 to 14-year-old. So you just select the indicator you are interested in. Okay. So the next thing is to select your level of disaggregation. So for the school attendance status, we have 3 levels of disaggregation. We have currently attending school, attended in the past, and never attended. So because I'm interested in looking at children between the ages of 3 to 14 years who have never been to school, I'll just select never attended. We also have the sex disaggregation for this particular indicator. I'm interested in looking at the total, so I'll select both sexes, which is already selected. So the next thing you have to do is to go to the Ghana map, and you just hover your cursor on the map to view the values for each region. So for Upper West, we can see that 20.7% of children between the ages of 3 to 14 years have never been to school, and this is a very critical issue. And even we can observe from the map that in the northern part of Ghana, it seems there is a high prevalence of children between the ages of 3 to 14 years who have never been to school as compared to the southern parts of Ghana. So if you also want to look at these values for each district, you just have to zoom in a little bigger. Okay. Okay. So if you zoom in a little bigger, it makes the map bigger. So you hover your cursor on it again, then you'll be able to view values for each district. So we can see in just a few moments, we are able to see the distribution of this indicator across districts and region. We therefore urge our policymakers, including members of parliament, to make good use of this platform to be able to address critical issues in this country. Again, we've already said the platform is directly linked to the GSS StatsBank. So if you are here and you still want to download a table for this particular indicator, we have a hypertext within each of the topic areas, anyone you select. So once you click on it, it takes you directly to the GSS StatsBank itself. Thank you for your attention, and I hope that you make good use of this platform.
Okay, so to talk about the last platform, which is the rasterized platform or the graded data. So with this platform, we've built it on the ArcGIS frame where people can now go down to levels below the district's level to get information for particular location. But then the whole idea behind the 1,000 by 1,000, as the board chair mentioned earlier, is to anonymize data so that we can't target individuals within specific areas. So on the platform, we have this small tab here that once you click on it, will give you detailed information on how the platform was built, the considerations that were made, and then what we hope to bring on this. Currently, we only have 3 areas on this platform for now. where we're looking at the age groups, education level, and then literacy. So the first tab on this platform, which we are calling the indicator tab, here is just a summary for, let me say, beginners or people who want to just view data. So you could just say, come to the search tab on your map here. Once it opens, you just type the name of a locality. So let me use Ho, for instance. So I type Ho here, and then I search for it. So then it zooms into, this is Hohoi. Come in just a minute. Okay. Okay, it says here is Ho. So based on the data available globally, here is the location of Ho. Now, when it zooms into the whole area, it goes down to the very household or structure level in the zooming. So in case you want to visualize the entire township of Ho, you can just scroll out gently out of this map, and then it would, the statistics here will change based on what is within the frame of your screen. So if you zoom out more, you realize that the values change. But then whilst you zoom into specific areas within your location of interest, the values also zoom in to give you the exact values within those grades that form that area. Let's say you've pinpointed that where you want is this particular cell or of interest, or that's where your research is. You can then click on that, and then you get a detailed tab of all the indicators in that particular cell. Now, this is just for visualization. But then we've created a second tab for those who want to then play more with the data, which we are calling the Analyst tab. Now, from this platform, it brings in whatever you have on the visualization part in here. Just that with this, you can then zoom into the same area. So I click on my search here. I search for Ho again. Once it zooms there, I can then come to my selection tool here and then select the type of selection I want. So let's say I want to do a loose selection. So I just select the lasso tool. I zoom into Ho, and then I say I want data for 1, 2, 3, 4 cells. Now it will highlight those cells for me. Now from here, you will see that it has given you a table here that lists out the 4 cells. From here, you can then click on the side panel here and then generate the statistics of those cells. And then now change the parameters here. So let's say I'm interested in those 30 to 39 years. It will just give you a brief statistics of how many people there are in total, what is the minimum value, what is the maximum value for those cells, and then also the standard deviation and then average numbers for those cells. Now, for those who are more inclined to the spatial analysis, we've also brought in the tab here for spatial aggregates. For now, it will require a sign-in from our side to get you on the platform. But we are hoping that by the end of the year, we've been able to bring almost all the indicators down the StatsBank here, cutting across the health and sanitation, and then also make sure that all the functionalities are well stable enough that anyone can just pick the platform and then quickly.
Okay, thank you so much. This is so informative. They're going to stay around the stage for our next session, because I'm sure after watching that, we may have some questions. So let's just go straight into the question and answer session. I'm going to invite Dr. Francis Sripi. Dr. Sripi? Okay. Right, to join them and we'll do the question and answer session. Is that okay? Okay. So anyone that has questions, please raise your hand and we will proceed. Any questions about anything that you've seen so far? I have a question. Can I start off with a question? And so, as you were talking, it was occurring to me that because you are a data processor, information was pertaining to data that we get when we go to your website and how it can aid us. But some people might have concerns about, so when I visit your website and I'm looking for information, what is it that you are collecting on me and keeping? And what is it going to be used for? Do you have some kind of disclaimer on there for me to know?
Okay, thank you very much. So I think the question is well posed. During our surveys and censuses, it's true that we tell our respondents that whatever information we are taking from them is going to be anonymized, such that nobody, based on our data, can trace to them and say that you said that, and maybe use that whatever they say against them and all that. So it is true. So when we take the data from them, in all our production, in that we generate the statistics and present it in such a way that the information are presented, or the statistics are presented for groups. So as we did the presentation, you can see that almost all the statistics we've generated are at the regional level. And if it's a regional value, you cannot go and pinpoint to a particular person in the region that you are the one who is giving us this figure, or the district level, which will be very difficult. Even the lowest level we've gone, which is the rasterized one, Selassie presented last, where we are doing it at a group smaller than the district level. We do 1,000 by 1,000 area. So if you come to whole like this, and you take 1,000 by 1,000, and you are generating a statistic for that area, you can't come and, it will be difficult to go there and say within this 1,000 by 1,000 area, it is you who is giving us this figure. So we anonymize the figures such that in all our data, even the micro data, which have the variables and everything in there, we make sure that there's no information there that will let you trace to a particular person or household or group within Ghana, and to know that is what they are giving us. So that is what we do. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We also welcome a series of questions from participants. So if you're ready, please, let's indicate by hand. Okay, we have. Hello? Okay. So in case I go to the website, I want this particular data, and I'm not able to get exactly what I want. Is there a hotline or way to call the website? Is there a way to get that done? Thank you very much. Statistical Service, I've got a line, or if you have any data requests, if you go to our website and it's not, what we have to do is just put in a request, address to the government statistician. There's a help desk that is also available. So any request that you need, just know and you get your request, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Alberto Mariona, Righty Daily Graphic. This one is specifically labeled high-level academic lunch. Do we have medium level and low level? Understand it.
Let's put our hands together for him, please.
Okay, so I think it's semantics, it's the naming. So the program, as we know, was in two phases. So there's a hackathon, which focuses on the students competing. So we are saying that this launch is a high-level academic launch because we are having almost all the people who matter in the university will be here, and people who matter in GSS will be here, which is at a higher level where we launch our product. I think that's how the name came by. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. When the last speaker was talking, he mentioned about some signing. I think if you want some information, I'd like to know, is this information for free? Can anybody just go in there? Is it for subscription? And if it is there any way by which you can do that? Yeah, thank you.
Hello. It's because of the fact that that part of the platform runs on something we call credits, which we have to pay for. So in case we make it very open to everyone, people might run analysis so much that it will consume credit at our cost. So then we want to make it a sign-in where once I know I've assigned you a login, I can regulate the number of credits I give you, and then once you've exhausted that credit, it's gone. The part about that is that the data there is free. So we are not charging you anything for doing your analysis or anything. It's just to regulate the cost we have to part of the platform, which goes to a more detailed level of 100 by 100 or 10 by 10 meters. And that one would come at a cost to the user. But because this is more generalized, this is open data that you can use for anything you need.
At a lower level, because from what you're saying, currently you are restricting usage. Yes.
Okay, so the data on the platform that restricts usage is accessible. You can go in right now, select the polygons of interest, download the data, compute. Now is what we call in the spatial analyst tool, which is something that the GIS guys, geospatial analyst guys use to generate certain indicators. So maybe the person wants to know the likelihood of a particular incident happening at a particular place. So maybe you bring in a hospital and you want to correlate it with the population or education there, the cost to our platform. So that's where we are regulating it. So we are not charging you for anything. Yeah, it's just to make sure that people don't overuse the resources on the platform.
Okay, thank you. So I think, Madam, the one you are talking about is specific to the third presentation. Just that one, yes. So the first and the second one, as he said, that one is completely free. The third one is also free, but as he said, the usage of certain parts of the platform comes at a cost to GSS. That means the more credit you use, the more we pay. We are willing to pay, but we want you to not use it to the extent that you not have money to pay again. So you want to regulate it such that you have certain limits to your usage. So you can use it to a point when your credit is bent, another person also come and use. But he's saying that in future, we are planning to get it at a lower platform. This is 1,000 by 1,000, 100 by 100, 10 by 10 meters. That one, because it's at a lower level, the cost is also high, which you ask the user who use it at that point to contribute, at least give us something small to cut down the costs we are going to pay. That's what he's saying. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have a last two questions.
Back to what, is it free for commercial users too?
Absolutely. So mine has to do with maybe if
GSS has some plans in terms of giving access to academic institutions who use this data for the purposes of research. So now we are talking about the data that will go to the lower level. So are there plans perhaps in the future where academic institutions can subscribe directly to these data sets, probably free for research in partnership with GSSS? I don't know whether those are already in place.
Thank you very much for such a wonderful question. I believe as an institution, we have plans for when it comes to, and I believe ahead, and very soon we'll sign an agreement with the university, and we'll access our data for free, please. Thank you very much. For those who were for our contacts, the WhatsApp line, humbly, I'll mention it, but we'll display it on the screen for to have a look at it. The number is 059 147 6884. That is the WhatsApp number. And the data center number is 05914 76875. So please, let's keep it for a few minutes, and let's organize the culture troop for going to write to. Then we'll hand over to the MC. If there's no other questions to ask, please. So, Madam MC, please take over.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for that session. Thank you. Okay, so we'll have a short number by the cultural troupe. We know you had so much prepared for us, but you know we're running late, so we'll just take one nice number from you, and then we'll continue. Is that okay? Thank you. So while they give us the number, if you want to walk around a little bit, you can do so. At the back of the room, there's a table of some products from Statistical Service. They are not to be taken away, but they're just to let you know what they have available. Each publication has a QR code. You can scan it with your phone, and it will take you to the PDF, and you can download the PDF. Okay. And now I would like to invite Dr. Grace Bediako, accompanied by our own registrar, Ms. Yamankwa Opone, and they will do the launch. I think we can have a couple more people join them. Dr. Ayanori, Dr. Siripi, Dr. Edu, and Professor Adiku. I think that's a nice number so that the picture will look very nice. And yes. Oh, you can shift to the middle a little bit. We have some space. Right? Yeah. Come to the middle of the, right. Give us 2 more feet. Very nice. Thank you. The camera's on this side, so just try that. Okay. And should I bring the mic? Should I bring you the mic?
So on this note, together with the Ghana Statistical Service, we launched the UHAS Edition StatsBank. Thank you. One more picture. It's okay. Right. Thank you very much.
Is Professor Banga, are you around? Okay, welcome. I didn't see you to acknowledge you. I saw Professor Adatara also a little earlier. Welcome, gentlemen. Okay, so we're going to begin our recognitions, and we're going to start off with recognition of the mentors and judges. And so the event, throughout the sequestering, if I may use a big word, of the students over the 2.5 days, they were in there with their mentors. 7 faculty were there with them from beginning to end, and they were their mentors. They were also part of the panel that judged their work. And so let us start off by inviting to the stage to assist with this process Dr. Francis Siripi, Professor Kwame Banga Ingesan, who is our director of the Institute of Traditional and Alternative Medicine, Dr. Theresa Edu, who is the university librarian. And let me take a break from my mic and get the certificates. Let me give you the mic, sir. So, in no particular order, when we mention your name, please come up for your certificate with a smile on your face so that you can have a nice picture. Mr. James Kweku Ajin. I think you guys can do the handing over of each certificate. The angle should be this way, right? So please sort of face, the cameras are this way. And so she'll give you the certificate. Right. Okay. The next person is Dr. Tana. Okay. Thank you. The next person is Dr. Livingston Assam. Oh, we should climb up. Oh, sorry. Okay. Thank you. I understand we should go up because of a little, yeah, the video might look better from up here. Is this better? Okay. All right. The next person is Dr. David Adedia. The next one is Mr. Stephen Kwame Senaya. Mr. Senaya. Okay. He stepped out. And Dr. Salifu Nanga. Those are judges. Their category is judges. Okay, so we should bring the judges also. Okay. Who are the judges? All right. Okay. So now assisting to judge were the following people. Selassie Akaho. The next person is Dr. Martin Amogri Ayanori. The next person is Mr. Ahmed Salim Adam. Okay, and Ms. Adam Titriku. And last but not the least, Mr. Peter Yeltulme Mwinlaru. Thank you very much. And now we're going to do the Hackathon Awards itself, which is to recognize the students who took part, and then we will then announce the winner of the hackathon. Nobody knows who the winner is yet in this room. And so let us recognize the students. To do that, we're going to invite the registrar. Is Professor Baden here? Is he here? Professor Baden? He's not here. Okay. Dr. Ayanori, please come up. Mr. Timothy Affle, are you here? Thank you. Oops. Oh, we do. So what are we going to do? Okay. Or the people in the groups? Yes. How will I know who's in the? Oh, you mean the particular groups? Oh, okay. Ah. The group. He was making me sweat. Yeah. Hold it for me so that I make sure. It didn't change the format. They're not grouped here. That is the only issue.
Good afternoon. So we, Dr. Yanori and his team, comprising of Dr. Salifu. So, yes, why not he just be? Now, so basically, we want to demonstrate to you how the student that we selected and the number of people who applied. 130 people applied for the hackathon program. And out of these 130 people, we selected only 25 of them. You can just imagine the competition. Now, so out of the 25 people, we have 6 groups. And these 6 groups, we have some from Hohoe, and we have another group from Ho here that competed. Some of the programs that applied are public health information, public health nutrition, we have medicine, we have Medilab, nursing, and all that. Now, so when you look at it, we have the first team is the 6 teams that we have selected. The first one is data innovators. Can we see them standing? Yeah, so those are the data innovators. When you take your data, they can innovate it into anything for you. Then secondly, we have Team Excellence. We have Team Excellence. And these people are very powerful people. Now, we also have Team Light Up. Team Light Up. Team Light Up. Yes. Then, in addition, we have Info Fusion. We have Info Fusion. Those are the competitors. And if you come inside, you see the competition. It was so keen. We also have our people, City and Soldiers, as you see them standing. City and Soldiers. They competed, and it wasn't easy. Finally, we have Team Yellow. So Team Yellow actually wanted to wear yellow top, but we told them no. Statistical Service said we should go by white, so they should just allow that. Now, so with all this, we have our mentors, Mr. Ajin. Then we have mentors from Ho and Statistical Service. If you look in there, you can identify Dr. Yanori, Dr. Asem, Dr. Na, Dr. Salifu, myself. Then we have our other colleagues from Statistical Service. So basically, this is the selection, the teams that competed, and in addition, the mentors and the judges that put all these things together.
Fantastic. And so now we're going to hand out certificates to participants. Each participant will get a certificate. And so when we call you up, then you can come up for your certificate. Okay. The first one is Ahaji Richard Kwesi. Ajay Godwin Veche. Gisem Patrick Elom. Otute Joseph Semayo. Goka Reginald Kekeli. Nuchuga Deborah. Ajipong George Daniel. Boachi Yadum Eric. Abem Michael Agonga. Aisa Christopher. Benu Daiwil Walasi. Buedu Nicholas. Mainam Vincent Uwumborie. I think I did good, right? Gado Belama. Agbanyo Matilda Enyonam. Teiko Felix. Asamani Aye Albert. Budget Gifty MFA. Akiti Emmanuel. Akwedo Timothy Yao. Boating Justice. Atongo Faustina Akosua. Juma Festus. Bebleu Kekeli Komla. Ela. They'll get there later. No, I'm saying these 25 people. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I have to go.
Thank you very much. So the winners of the competition. The second runner-up, InfoFusions. So the cash prize for this team is 1,000 Ghana cedis. CTN soldiers. And the cash prize is 2,000 Ghana cedis. Then the winners of the competition, Hackathon 2023 UHAS version. The winners are Team Yellow. And the cash prize, the money, the cash prize is 5,000 Ghana cedis.
So the team briefly will tell us what made them win the award, briefly, because we are far behind time for the audience. So, Team Yellow.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Yeah, so the director, the chair of the Ghana Stats, the registrar of the institution. I'm so honored to stand before you this very afternoon to present to you what our team was able to come out with. And as a result of that, we emerging as the winner of this competition. My name is Godwin J, and I am a Master of Public Health, Epidemiology and Disease Control student. And my team members too here, I have Vincent, he is also a Master of Public Health Disease Control student. We have Patrick, is also doing Epidemiology and Disease Control. Then we have Richard too, he's also doing Epidemiology and Disease Control, the master's class. Yeah. So our team decided to work on a project. And the project that we decided to work, we wanted to look in urbanization. We wanted to look at the relationship between urbanization, population density, and water and sanitation as a challenge to sustainable development in Ghana. So that is what we decided to work on. So we are going to project our findings, how we started the whole process, and how we arrived at our findings, the product that we came about. So I will start with a brief introduction to the idea behind this whole project. So the Ghana Statistical Service, that is a population census report that was being the population census report that we have. So that's where we started, and we started going through looking at various variables and various figures. So with regards to that, we also were given the chance, or were given access to the StatsBank data. So we look at the report, and with the injunction with the StatsBank data, we were able to find out that there are some key variables that are having effect on water and sanitation. And the first variable that we found out was urbanization. And we found out that urbanization was having a link with population density, and as a result of that, leading to water and sanitation. Okay. Yes. This is our presentation slide. So as I stated earlier on, we are looking at urbanization, population density, and water and sanitation, challenges to sustainable development in Ghana. So we have our presentation outline, so we move straight to the introduction. So with the outline, we are looking at our introduction, we have objectives, we have the method, how we arrive, the results, then policy findings. Okay. Yeah, so with the introduction here, we realized that with a review of literature, we found out that Ghana has been experiencing a rapid growth in our urbanization. So we saw that there was 6% growth, that is from 2010 to the current population census that we have 2021. And we found out that as a result of the growth, there was some factors that was influencing this growth. And some of the factors that we found out was migration, people moving from one place to the other. We also found employment as a reason why people are moving from the rural areas to the urban areas. We found out that education too was one of the reasons why people were moving from the rural areas to the urban areas. So as a result, people moving from the rural areas to the urban areas, there is a likelihood, or based on research, we found out that there was strains in the resources available at where they were moving to. And one major factor that we realized that the strains was too much on was water and sanitation. So which is also a leading factor to the Sustainable Development Goal 6. So we developed a conceptual framework. We developed a conceptual framework to show the relationship between these various factors. So we use migration here as a metric for urbanization. So we use migration as a metric for urbanization. So people were migrating because of employment, education. Then whilst you're migrating, it increased the population density in the various urban areas. So we use the metrics here, increase per kilometer square. That is the increase in the population density. And as a result of that, the strains in water and sanitation, or leading to water and sanitation. So we found out that open defecation, water supply challenges, decrease in water quality. So these are the relationships that we found out as a result of the conceptual framework that we came out with. So these are objectives. So our first objective is to determine the factors contributing to urbanization and population density. And last, we seek to examine the relationship between population density and water and sanitation. With our methods, first, the available data that was given to us was the Ghana Statistical Survey, that is the StatsBank data. So we extracted data from this, and we extracted data based on these variables: economic activities, population, and water and sanitation. Then after that, we did analysis with the help of these statistical tools. That is, we have Python, the ARC, GIS. And also, we have a statistical significance of 0.05 to show the p-value, whether a value is significant to the other. Then we create an interaction visualization. That was the product that we came up with. So we create a data visualization screen. And that is what we use to present our findings. So this is how our data visualization screen look at, our interactive visualization screen. This is how it look at. So we have the migration by region. So we stated earlier on that we use migration as our metric for urbanization. So we have migration by region here. Then we have the regions where they are experiencing the highest rate of migration. People are coming in also here. So when you go into this dashboard here, when you click on the regions here, it will show you the frequency here, the number of people who have migrated to, or the urbanization rate in that region. And it will give you the count there. And also you can sort the regions here. If you want to sort the various regions and look at, without even clicking, you can do the sorting here to also look at the regions and the urbanization count. Okay, so we went ahead to look at the reasons why people are moving, they are migrating to these urban areas. And we found out that employment was the main reason why people were migrating to these various regions. So you can see a pie chart for the reasons for migration. We have employment, we have education, but we see that employment is the highest among it. And we also look at the employment by region here, and we found out that the Greater Accra region was the region with the highest employment rate, and as a result of that, a lot of people were moving into that region. So the next one, we look at population density. That we are going to our second objective to look at the population density here. So we decided to look at the population density by district. So with the district here, we found out that the first 5 districts here that are populated or that are more dense population or that have high population density were found within the Greater Accra region, where a lot of people are migrating to or moving there because of employment. So we went ahead to determine or to find if there is a relationship between the movement, that is employment and population density, to establish our findings. So we did a geographical weighted regression of employment and population density to see if there is a relationship between two of them. And as it's clearly stated, and it's clearly on the map here, we can see that there are some red spots at these areas, some red spots. So the red spot is telling us where the people are more dense here. The association between the population density area and employment. So here we found a positive. So the red is indicating a positive association, showing that there is significance. While the negative is the small dots that you see there. So we can see that when you come to the southern region or the coastal region, you can see that there is a lot of people, or there is an association between employment and population density around the Greater Accra region, where we found that a lot of people were moving into. So we move on to our next objective, that's to look at the relationship between population density and water and sanitation. So we choose open defecation as our metrics for the sanitation issue. And with open defecation, after we have done the cluster, we found out that the hotspots though was within the northern belt of Ghana. That's where the hotspot was within. And the cold spot too was within the the southern belts of the country, or where there is a lot of population dense people within that area. And we also laid the various toilet facilities in these various regions. So you can see some H dot there. So that also was the toilet facility that we laid in here. So we found out that within the hotspots, there is few toilet facilities. So based on that, a lot of people are practicing open defecation there. But when you come to the cold spots here, you can see that there is a lot of toilet facility here. But still, you can see that people are still practicing open defecation within the cold spots there. So this, based on this, we make an argument that people, as a result, whilst we have a lot of toilet facilities within the cold spot here, people are still practicing open defecation here. And we found out in research that people were practicing open defecation here because of lack of their availability. So the ones that were available was less than the population, looking at the ratio. So it was pressure. So therefore, people might not like to go there because sometimes, for example, some of the research that we found out cited that people have to queue for toilet facilities. Some of them, too, the conditions are not in good shape. And therefore, they will prefer to go to the bush rather than to go to those various toilet facilities. Also, we did for uncollected solid waste by district on sanitation. And also, we found out that the uncollected solid waste were more clustered at the population-dense area. So with that, you can see that a lot of the big red dots are more at the population-dense area. Then we went ahead to look for sanitation and water. So this was for sanitation. We look for water. So with water too here, our metric was on improved water because we found out that the population-dense areas are having a lot or having enough of improved water comparing to the unpopulated area. So with the improved water, we also created a pie chart, a chart indicating the improved source of water by district. And we found out that the first 5 districts here was within the population dense area here. So right now, the argument here was that, so if these population dense areas here, 5 of them are having improved water, what is the issue here? So the issue that we found out with research was that the water that was available to them, the water that was available to them with a ratio of the number of people using it was more than, so the usage here was more than what was available to them. So with that one, we also did a map, or we did a map to also illustrate these various findings. So with a map, you have a range that is below 1 and above 1. So below the range below 1, so those who are within the range below 1 are those people that are having more, and their usage, so what they are having is equal to their usage that they are having. And those that are more than 1 year, their usage is more than what they are having. So with the whole country, we found out that even in the whole country, majority of the regions, they use a lot of water than what they were having. But we are more concentration, our focus was more on where the people are more dense. That is within the coastal belt or the coastal belt of Ghana, that's the Greater Accra region. So we found out that those places, there was a lot issues regarding to water within that area. So implication of our findings. So we concluded that our findings, based on these findings here, these people living within these areas are at high risk of wash-related outbreaks. And also, we also continue to say that there are high risks of high mortality rates. So these were based on research that we found and related evidence on literature, and we back it with this. And also economic burden issues and high risks of disasters. Example, the recent flood that happened in Accra for within some past days ago. And all these were as a result of the interrelationship between the population, the urbanization, population density, and water and sanitation. So in conclusion, we concluded that these variables, that's urbanization, population density, and water and sanitation, they have a relationship with you, or there's a strong relationship with them. And therefore, we, or us as citizens of this country, we all have a role to play in order to address this issue. Therefore, we went ahead with our policy documentation, our policy recommendation. With the policy recommendation here, the blue line here is indicating the various policies that we are recommending. And the red here are the various stakeholders that we are recommending this policy to. So our first policy was to look at promoting the creation of satellite cities. So with this creation of promotion of satellite cities, it will help so that people does not really move to these urban areas for that. And the policy or people who we target were the Ministry of Local Government and the National Population Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice work. Here's your certificate. Okay. Yes, you're all done. Thank you. Okay. Madam Registrar, are you ready to give us closing remarks? Give it up for Ms. Ya Amankwa Opuni, Registrar of UHAS.
Yes, I'm ready to give my remarks. And I will start from our winners, our champions. Shall we applaud them again? When I opened the hackathon yesterday, I prophesied. Who said A? I prophesied. Indeed, I said prophecies to all the groups, didn't I? Yes. And, okay, I will keep the rest. I'll keep the rest. I don't want to be biased, I'll keep the rest. But congratulations to our winners. You have done us proud. The board chair of the Ghana Statistical Service, Dr. Grace Bediakun, the coordinator, project coordinator hackathon, Dr. Francis Suripi, the UHAS mentors, the GSS mentors, our deans and directors, the organizers of this program yesterday, from Sunday through this morning, and then this afternoon, our students, able students. I told you that we had only one presentation, but if you listen to all the other presentations, you would attest the depth of knowledge and skills of our students. As for our faculty, I just sensed the number of people who were taking the information on how to reach the Ghana Statistical Service and how to seek information from them. We are so privileged. This initiative, bringing information to the doorstep of stakeholders, institutions such as UHAS by the GSS, is very laudable, you can agree. Not only have they shown us the information which is available, credible information available to us, but they have shown, demonstrated to us how we can actually access the information from their platform. It is a good initiative, and we can only commend their efforts doing so. Let me also commend ourselves, commend the university community for partaking, availing ourselves to be part of this process. It is interesting to note and hear that the Ghana Statistical Service is going to partner the university. One of our mentors asked if there was any possibility for making the data accessible, reachable. They have told us that it is free. We can access it. To what extent? But they have assured us that there's going to have a package for institutions, for academic institutions. That is what we do. And in UHAS here, research is UHAS. UHAS is research. We do a lot of research, and so information is very, very useful to us. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Lydia Aziato, the senior management, my Pro-Vice Chancellor, whose stead I am standing. I wish to thank all of you very, very much for yesterday's and this afternoon's launch. And as a university, this is not going to be the first and last. Indeed, we have been organizing such competitions for our students and amongst ourselves. And this is an eye-opener. We are not going to wait for GSS to bring us this platform, but among ourselves, among schools, across disciplines, we are going to institute such competitions. It is a healthy competition. I know all of us, especially our guests from Accra and elsewhere, you have enjoyed the hospitality of UHAS. Please come again. The next time you come, don't come competitively. Come casually, so that we can conduct you round the university and round the Oxygen City in Ho, and then we'll do some other social activities. The students, applaud yourselves, all the participants. You displayed and demonstrated such knowledge and skills that is overwhelming. And we are very, very proud of all of you. You are all winners. I told you from the beginning of the competition that all of you are winners, all 25 of you, and the teams. And we had excellent teams. You gelled in a relaxed atmosphere. You did your work. So congratulations to all of you. The skills that you have acquired, don't sleep over it. You can only improve on it. And the next time around, the first and second runner-ups, you are going to overtake the winners. As for the winners, if they had not won between me and them, it would have been a different thing. Yes, some people know why I'm saying that. I will not go further. But thank you very much. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Let me not fail to acknowledge the presence of the rector of Adonai University College in the person of Reverend Dr. Bright Adonai, who was with us. I think he's still around, but thank you for coming along with your registrar. Well, we are at the end of the show, and I think that you will all attest that this has been an exciting day. Registrar.
So may I invite the university librarian? The Ghana Statistical Service, when they were coming, they didn't come empty-handed. In addition to everything they have come to do for us, they brought literature. They brought literature for our library, for our faculty, staff, and the university community. And so you can see it displayed on a table there, and I'm going to hand it over to the university librarian. Please hold this one. Yes. University librarian, this is from Ghana Statistical Service, the thematic report on migration, and they have brought it to us for our use. Please keep it well and use it for the purpose for which they have brought it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone. I will call on Dr. Adedia to say the closing prayer, but before that, please take note. After the event, please work your way to the back for some refreshments and some rubbing of shoulders with the big people before they leave, okay? And also, I need to see all participant groups, the student participants. You find me somewhere, I need to see you. It's very, very important for both of us. I also need to see all the mentors before they leave. Thank you so much for bearing with us. We started late, but we have ended on a very high note. And so Thank you for coming. Dr. Adedia, are you ready to pray for us?
Please, let's pray. Father, Lord, we thank you so much for planning the execution and the ending of this program. Lord, we thank you for the sponsors. We thank you so much for the university, for supporting the program to come this far. Jehovah, Lord, as this has taken place, we pray that may the knowledge that they have acquired continue to increase in them. May they continue to practice. Jehovah, also, we want to use this opportunity to plead and ask that may the university see the need for this program so that they can actually invest money into this so that we can help the students of this university from time to time to acquire the statistical knowledge. Jehovah, we commit everybody sitting here, our going back home are in your hands. May you be with us. May you bless the food that is there waiting for all of us. In our Savior Jesus' name we pray. Amen.